Well, good morning, everybody. This is Barry Kleiman. I am trying to close out this week with, I guess, an epiphany of sorts that I had, and I wanted to make sure I made clear with the videos of the week. My ultimate goal is to certainly help everybody get what they want, be on the sort of team that they want. My career from headhunting has evolved into helping teams get built and effective teams. I live by a credo called share the ball. It matters to me that we have continuity in our lives and so forth. But before anything, we all need to develop ourselves, personally. And years ago, I think it was 1989 or something, I was walking through a bookstore at Stanford University, and this book was sitting on one of those end caps. I'd never heard of it before. It's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And if you take nothing else from any of the stuff that I share here, it would be to please pick up a copy of this book and read it. I keep it. I have 2 of these on my desk. To me, this is a Bible. It's a textbook. It's not something you read once and put away. I genuinely believe that the world would be a better place by orders of magnitude if everybody read and lived by the 7 habits. As I like to say, the only thing I don't like about it is I didn't write it. I think the logic that Dr. Covey has offered in this book, first things first, begin with the end in mind. You have to be an inward focus before you can have outward focus. Personal victories precede private victories precede public victories, and learning to listen and all these things. I can't stress it enough. If you're, the world's a crazy place right now, and I think we could all use some centering and some points of focus. This is focus. Honestly, again, I'm not selling it. I don't get any commissions or anything like this. It's really, what I want us to all focus on is make sure our habits are our habits and to have habits. I put in the notes Durant and Covey and Curry and Aristotle. So there was this quote. For years, I attributed it to Aristotle. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. Makes sense, right? What you do over and over and over again is how you maintain excellence. I was fortunate enough on 2 different occasions to be one of the coaches at 2 different Stephen Curry camps that were here in the Bay Area. My last one, my badge here. I got to see Stephen talk about, and his coach, his trainer, Brandon Payne, talk about the sort of habits that Stephen has built into his life. You don't get to be the greatest shooter that ever lived, and arguably, well, has been most valuable player. It doesn't matter. I don't want to get into a basketball rant, but his excellence precedes him at this point. But it's all from habits. His work ethic is ridiculous. And you can hear Brandon, Coach Payne, talk about it quite a bit, and you can hear Stephen talk about it, but it's not just talk, because you see what happens on the court. You talk about somebody who's changed the game, whether you like it or not, and an amazing guy too, very open guy, who in the last time we were there, he took selfies with every kid in the gym. He was getting on FaceTime calls with kids, nephews back in some other state, telling them to do their homework. He's just a good guy. But again, he got to where he got to with habits. I brought up the Aristotle quote because this is a little bit like finding out there's no Santa Claus. But I learned, this is where the Durant comment comes in. I wrote Covey, Current, Durant, and Aristotle. So as it turns out, Aristotle didn't write that quote about excellence. It was by a gentleman named Will Durant in a book called The Story of Philosophy back in, I want to say, 1926. It was, now the quote, we are what we repeatedly do, is attributed to Will Durant. So no diss to Kevin Durant, but this is Will Durant who wrote this book. So we are what we repeatedly do. if you're looking for a way, career-wise, to get your chops down, to take some of the stuff that I have previously shared and put it into action, and why you should put them into action, how you develop relationships of any sort, how you can run your life effectively, effective people. Let me recommend this. Again, it's people. I know the book. I know the book. Read it. Put your life into some sort of template of habits. Begin with the end in mind. That's my rant for today. The greatest in the world have successful habits. I wish that for you, and I hope you're all staying safe and well. The world continues to get crazier and crazier, but we each have responsibility to do what we can to maintain our sanity. And I can promise you one more time, it starts with habits. Stay safe, everybody. Y'all have a great weekend. Thanks.